Hey guys, Jason with Steamboat Customs today. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my Coyote Swap pedal adapter for the 1980 to 1996 Ford F-150 and Bronco F-Series also. What we have here is just the first one that I made. It's actually the piece that's going in my personal truck, but I wanted to go over the installation process with you, show how simple it is, and a few other little details about the piece itself. So first thing you'll notice when you open yours, it's going to be painted. Mine's raw. I didn't really care, but I wanted to send you guys a little bit of a nicer product. So you'll open the package, you'll see that you've got the hardware. That stuff's in the place that it goes as it's going to be installed on the vehicle. The only thing that's really different is you'll have this little 4mm spacer on the top, what would be your outboard or top left as you're facing the pedal itself. And that's because the pedal is shorter on this leg right here. So on this ear, you want to make sure that that spacer is behind between the pedal and the adapter itself. So we'll get into the install. First thing you're going to do is you're going to be removing your stock pedal. You see I've already got this one out, and I've already also got the insulation trimmed. So that gives you kind of a good illustration of what you're going to be looking for, what you're going to be doing once you remove your stock pedal. That thing has spacers that actually stand it off so the insulation runs behind it. I did not do spacers on my unit, and the reason being was because it sets the pedal out and over so far that the first time I did it with spacers, it actually caused it to flex a little bit. So I did not run spacers, and in the 4 or 5 different renditions of this thing that we did, we found that just flushing it up against the firewall and giving it that extra added surface area prevented it from flexing. So that's why you won't have that, and that's why you'll also need to trim your insulation. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove your stock pedal, and you're going to retain the 3 factory hardware. These are 13mm or 8mm thread, 13mm head. You're going to hold on to these because these are what you're going to use to put the pedal bracket adapter onto the firewall. So let's just pretend, fast forward through time, you've got your insulation trimmed, which you'll use this as a template. You can just kind of stick it up against the firewall, draw around it with a Sharpie, and once you've done that, trim it away with a razor blade and you're good to go. So we'll get started on the installation. Stick it up there, line up your holes. I typically like to start the bottom bolt. The other 2 are a little more difficult to get to, but it's still not too bad. And what I'll also do to make this a little bit easier is I'll take my tool, my extension here with the socket, and get that thing in there while it's in the socket, jiggle it around a little bit, and start that one. Come on. All right. So that's typically not that difficult, but and you can stick your hand in here for this one. Hold it, line it up, get it set in the hole, and you should just be able to kind of wiggle it around and feel it when it goes into the firewall hole, just like it just did. And you'll start that one. Once you got all 3 of your bolts started, then you can run them down. I kind of don't recommend an impact unless you're using a really light duty one. You don't want to run these down too tight, just in the event you maybe strip them out or over tighten them. Maybe pull one of the nutserts out of the firewall. You don't want to do any of that. So I just run them down real tight with this guy. pound, give it a couple ugga-duggas, just like that. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is go to your torque wrench. And for those bolts, you're going to set that, if it's a foot-pound, you want to set it to 19 foot-pound. So that's where I'm at. Got my little long extension to make it a little bit easier. I should have ran that one down a little bit tighter. All right, so there you go. So I hit all those guys at 19 foot-pound. If you have an inch-pound, I believe that's somewhere around 230 inch-pound. But you can do the math and verify that for yourself. Or if you have Newton meters, it's going to be 26, I believe. I'm going to run that down a little bit more. Went a little light on the ugga-duggas. Ugga-dugga machine might need a new battery. All right, so there's that. You've got those guys torqued. Now you're ready to install your pedal. And you take the bolts out. If you haven't already, just remember that 4mm spacer goes in the top outboard, top left position. And it doesn't really matter which one you start with. I am going to recommend that you put a dab of blue Loctite on all the bolts, which I didn't show you on the other bolts. I had already previously installed this guy, and didn't re-Loctite it, but I can go back and do that at a later time. I'll hold off on that last one so I don't get blue Loctite all over my carpet. And again, with the spacer behind that top outboard. Your bottom. And run that into that. Changing out to a 10mm for our 6mm bolts. Little light ugga-dugga. Now for these, the 6mm are going to be 10 foot-pounds. So a good bit less than the 8mm in the firewall. The other 8mm or 13mm head bolt is it's going to be a different torque value too. It's going to be a little less. It's going to be 18 foot-pounds. All right. Pedals all installed. All you got to do now, hook your electrical connection up, and you're done. That is it. That's all to installing the Coyote pedal on our bracket. Keep in mind, that's a Mustang style pedal. I know some of the older trucks had a different bolt pattern. We do not make an adapter for that. I did have a gentleman send me one of those pedals, and the layout of it was so completely different that we'd had to design a completely different pedal adapter. I feel like most people are using this one. It's what comes with all the control packs, and they're widely available. You can buy them from LMR, you can buy them from any of the Ford dealerships or the junkyards. I ended up getting mine from a yard here locally in town. So make sure you have that type pedal. But that's all there is to the install. Anything else, man, it's if I couldn't have made it any simpler, I don't know what I could have done. So hopefully that helps you guys get the pedal in and get motivated on your build. Save you some time with all the other stuff that you're going to have to do. Appreciate it. Until next time.